Hello, Comanche Nation. I'm your chairman, William Nelson Sr. Today, I'd like to come to you as a public address, and the public address is really on the eve of what everybody got in the mail on the secretarial election. Those that missed out on this, I believe it's very important for our nation, and I hope to explain why it's very important for the nation. Today is March 9th, 2018. At this point in time in our nation, 51 years, we have been recognized, federally recognized as a sovereign nation within a nation. One thing we strive for, and I say we, I can't do anything by myself, and all this time I've been as your chair, I've done everything through the legal quorum. Everything we voted on is through the legal quorum. Our Constitution is specific on that and our duties. Nobody can act on their own. What we've been shooting for is stability for the nation, sustainability for the nation, and strengthen our sovereignty. How do we strengthen our sovereignty? And it's through our lands that we own as trust property. And I really, this is my own personal feeling, strengthen the shareholders' share of this nation. You know, we are Numina, and our entire objective should be to empower all Numina members, everyone. Currently, the secretarial election is being conducted by the Bureau of Indian Affairs, and I got some why, and everybody's got why, so here's why. Article 5 of our Constitution, which is our law, our rule book that we have to follow. Article 5, the Tribal Council, Section 1. The Tribal Council shall consist of all members of the Comanche Nation who are 18 years of age or older. And that's the key word, 18 years of age or older. There's duties of the Tribal Council. Voters of the tribe shall be members of the Tribal Council who otherwise qualify, subject to the approval of the Secretary of the Interior, which he did in 1967. We have authorized representatives, which are applicable. The authority of the Comanche Tribal Council shall include and be exclusive with respect to the following: to change, modify, alter, or revoke membership, to execute leases, to elect tribal officers and members of the business committee, and fill vacancies which may occur pursuant to Article 7. To authorize the expenditure of funds which may be deposited to the exclusive credit to the Comanche Nation, and of funds which may be deposited to the joint credit of the Kiowa, Comanche, and Apache tribes. That duty I have marked in red, and with this address to the nation comes a PowerPoint showing these items. To select and authorize tribal delegations to transact business on behalf of the tribe. We are to determine the salary for the chairman of the business committee and the adoption of an annual tribal operating budget. And it does show the salary for all members of the business committee shall be $250 per month. The Tribal Council also tells us how to do the minutes of the Tribal Council meetings. Another one I've got marked in red of the duty to hire an administrator manager to administrate the tribal government. And finally, to hire an attorney to represent the tribe in legal matters. I've read these duties for one reason. Tribal Council members, everybody over 18 years old, living abroad, have no say on programs, they have no say on the hired administrator, and they have no say on the hired lawyer. I do have part of this PowerPoint, examples of programs started with no vote, not a vote, by the entire Comanche Nation Tribal Council. We were having budget hearings over the last 2 months to bring you forth a budget that we had printed, as the Constitution talks to. And when we had the budget hearings, I had one simple question for every program we have. There's 77 programs. To be really technical about it, there's 75 programs in our nation. What's really sad, because the Tribal Council hasn't had the voice to approve these to be on the budget, some of these items were just put on the budget. And let's go right back to what your duties are. The Tribal Council's duty is to authorize the expenditure of funds. There's no authorization if you just allow CBC or past chairmans or anybody to just throw something on the budget of a dollar amount and we tell everybody living abroad, California, Michigan, wherever, vote on it. I'm going to give you some examples of this. There's no record for one program. One was a 2002 grant, but the Tribal Council never adopted it. There's one that was enacted by a grant, but the Tribal Council never voted on it. I've got 5 that were adopted at the Tribal Council. And when I say adopted by the Tribal Council, they're agreed upon it at the annual meeting and they took it to the entire world referendum vote. 5, and I've got on this page right here over 45 programs. 5 out of 45. I'll give you an example of one that was voted on by the Tribal Council, the Elder Council. EPA was voted by the Tribal Council. Grandparents raising grandchildren? No. In 2013, it was just put on the budget. New Pathways? No. It was the Indian Health Service grant and put on the budget. Outreach Center in Oklahoma City? No. In 2009, they just put it on the budget. Now, Student Services, K through 12? Yes, it had a Tribal Council resolution in 2004. Land acquisitions, yes, a Tribal Council resolution. In 1992, there was an ISTEA grant that formed transportation, but never approved by the Tribal Council, never. What am I saying? We can no longer tell our Tribal Council members, everybody over 18, vote on this when you didn't have a say on it. In 2008, there was 2 programs that were just put on the budget. I guess put on the budget. There's one program that was dissolved, and this is the worst case scenario. It was put on the budget 14 years ago, and we voted for 14 years for them to get $27 million that never had Tribal Council approval. The powers clause of the Tribal Council has always been there. Everybody over 18 years old since 1967 has been the Tribal Council. For some reason, we drifted off from that, and it's so easy to come to a meeting and say, hey, we want that, okay. But we didn't take it to all the Tribal Council members. With 17,000 plus Comanches today, and out of those, we have Tribal Council members that number 7,390 voting members that live out of our Comanche jurisdiction. We have 4,813 Comanche tribal members in our jurisdiction. What's our jurisdiction? It's 7 counties. So 4,813 live in the jurisdiction, 7,390 Tribal Council members living over 18, living outside of jurisdiction. They are disenfranchised. They've been disenfranchised for a long, long time. And this is the questions I get from our fellow Tribal Council members. 2 questions from California back in October. Why do we need to vote on programs when we didn't even have a say on it? I had 3 that live up there in, I believe it's Calgary. And those 3 sisters, they said, since you people only serve as Comanches that live around Lawton, why not give us more per cap? Aren't we the tribal council? I don't know how to answer this because they have been disenfranchised. Here's some more questions. Why vote on program budgets when we don't get the service? I guess they call here and they're told, and this lady said it correctly. She said, we're told by some programs that we live out of Comanche jurisdiction, so why do you all send us a ballot to approve these monies? These are all legitimate questions from our tribal council members, our brothers, our sisters that live outside of our jurisdiction. Here's another one. I'm one of those over 18-year-olds, and I've voted for the past 8 years. We need to have the TA and lawyer on our ballot too. Then here comes one that says, here come locals. No, here we go. It really struck me strange. How come locals vote on law firms? Shouldn't we all? And from Arizona, right at Tempe, Arizona, where's the Arizona candidates for administrator manager? What are they telling us? I know what they're telling us. They've been disenfranchised. The annual meeting has always been there in our Constitution. Our annual meeting, we nominate, and we actually take a budget to the people. Can we just from now on, please, utilize the annual meeting as a stepping stone for the entire tribal council? They are significant. They are voting members that call here and say, and are being told, you live out of jurisdiction. The whole purpose of Amendment A that I got help on from the CBC to construct was there has to be a powers clause. Why should a privileged few of 300 out of 7 or up to 12,000 members, how can 300 that's staying within the quorum after we eat have all the say for over 12,000 voting members? It doesn't make sense anymore. Our numbers are just too big anymore. I can't sell this. I won't sell this. I'm not a salesman in this. All I know is what the Constitution has said all these 51 years. It said what? It said everybody over 18 years old is the tribal council. And for some strange reason, a lot of people have said, General Council, General Council. I wish everybody would pull out their Constitution and find me where General Council is written. What is written is annual meeting. With that said, everybody, there's a secretarial vote that's very impartial. It's being done by the Bureau of Indian Affairs. And I would like for everybody, vote your conscience. Just vote your conscience. I went to a group of Comanches, elders, and I asked them one question. Comanche people, Comanche elders, how many of your relatives live out of state that are over 18 years old? Can you show me your hands? And everyone raised their hand, and that's the entire answer. With that said, it's Friday evening. It's March the 9th, and I ask my Comanche Nation people, vote your conscience. Thank you.